is Naomi Hurley and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I facilitate childhood regression and past life regression sessions through hypnotherapy and am able to create some real meaningful change for my clients. What you're about to see is a session that I did with a lady where we were actually going back into past lives to see how that could give her some information for clarity in this current life. Now, the first scene, she went back into a current life and she went back into her childhood, and then after that progressed through. Unfortunately, the tech didn't work out the way that we'd hoped in this first session, so it's really just a taster of what it's about. It just showcases how the session works, how the client responds, and just gives a bit of an idea of the information that comes through. Just a disclaimer though, because the tech wasn't working really great, the sound during the session isn't of a great quality, but I'm still putting it out there because I still feel like it's going to give some insights into how the session works, and maybe it will connect with someone who feels like it could be beneficial to them. So sit back, enjoy, and I hope you get some value from this little video.
So hello, my name is Donna. I am 45 years young, a mother of 2 teenage boys, 15 and almost 18. I'm exploring past life regressions. I'd say part of my own personal development and diving into myself. I feel like I've actually broken through a barrier in the last 12 months and realizing that I've pretty much spent a lot of 44 years masking, people pleasing, trying to achieve things and self-sabotaging and things like that. And actually at one point I became extremely miserable because I lost my entire self. So I lost my opinion, I lost part of my personality because there was so many masks put on that I lost who I was. I think past life regression, I'm getting better now at loving myself. I think that could assist with that, and I would actually love to know what I was like before I started putting the masks up. So before I started pleasing other people, and before I started analysing like everything really. So people's reactions to you, what they're saying, and just because that's so exhausting. Trying not to get emotional. People pleasing, I think, probably really since I was little. My parents divorced when I was 3. So I have spent time like with therapy and talking to people and things in regards to, I always felt like there was a Grand Canyon between myself and my dad, and that I'd missed out on something. So I think a yearning, a recognition, a love that I didn't think was there. But in the past few years, I was blessed to actually be able to spend 3 weeks with my dad before he passed away. And I did realise during that time that our relationship was as good as it gets, that he didn't think that there was any gaps there. So I sort of had to accept that it's okay. So I think people pleasing really came from when I was a child, as an only child, desperate to have, I guess, like more love and affection. And I'll say attention, but not in the only child syndrome way, just more.
Welcome to the session.
Thank you.
So you haven't had a past life regression before?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any questions about it?
No.
No, okay. So with the type of hypnosis that I do, I kind of get my clients back with the way their eyes are when they close their eyes. So I know you've been hypnotised before. I don't know what they use for an induction, but how I do it is getting people to look up at a real or imagined spot overhead and then getting them to close their eyelids down and you'll get like a fluttering in your eyes, which is fine. I then do the cliche, either heavy, droopy, drowsy, you know, all that sort of stuff, and then at one point I'll say you can let your eyeballs go wherever you want. So after that, then I'll just do an induction, further process of getting the body really relaxed. So I usually just walk downstairs. So walk down 10 stairs, get you super relaxed, and then we can go start exploring. Did you have any questions in particular that you wanted answered?
No.
Okay. We can go in and have a look anyway and see what comes up. So what I normally do is I take people back into a few past lives, because that's the fun bit, right? That's where everyone loves and gets excited about. But at some point, if we can get your vibration high enough, we can take you into a space which is in between lives. So in the in-between life space, we can actually get you into a point where you can have an audience with your divine counsel, or what I call the divine counsel. So all of your spirit helpers, mates, on the other side that have helped set you up for this lifetime. And in that space you can get some really great downloads as well on life purpose, where you're at, all of those sorts of things. So you'll have an opportunity to have your own discussion. There are times where I'll go silent. I haven't left the room or anything, but I kind of just go off my own intuitive feel, and when I go silent is kind of more letting you have time to process. If I'm silent for too long though, you're more than welcome to go, yeah, I think I've processed enough, and we can keep moving. But usually I have a fairly good feel, and I'll just jump back in and start asking questions again.
So I know to say that, or I just naturally say that?
If you feel like you want to say it. So when you'll know. So the hypnosis I do as well, it's just like being in a meditation. So you'll still be able to move, you'll still be able to talk, you'll still have everything going on. But the key to make it successful for you is to really relax and not make anything happen, just let it happen. So if we go back to go into a scene, and I say, hey, is it daytime, nighttime, and you go, I've got nothing, that's fine. So if you try to start forcing something to come through, that's when the conscious mind will jump back in. So if you say, I've got nothing, my job is then to find a different path, use a different tool, try a different thing, because we're all unique. We're all different. Now, when you do go into the scene, some people see things. If they're visual, some people just know things. Some people get sensations in their body that can take them into different places. So you might not see something per se, but you might be like, oh, I sense this is happening. That might be how the scene comes through for you. So it's kind of like, don't have any expectations, just go through, see how it works, and you'll connect. Any questions now?
No.
No?
Yes.
I'm excited. I love doing these. Each one I do is completely different. So they all come through with, and depending on how relaxed you are, will be how good your session is. So part of my job is to get you as relaxed as possible. I may play some sound instruments while you're there as well to help getting your vibration higher and stuff. You don't have an issue with that?
No, lovely.
Perfect. Yeah, we've got that. We've got the gong as well, so we'll get into the gong. All of that sort of stuff. And just to raise your vibration a little bit higher to go into that space. So if you're ready, get yourself comfortable.
And so I recline this back?
Yeah, recline it back. So just be totally relaxed. As long as you're not crossed up, we can go there. Do you have any aversion to the word God if I use God?
No.
Or would you rather source or spirit or anything like that? No? Okay, just because sometimes that's pretty much what I do, is I actually do get some channeling and some guidance from who I refer to as God. And I know some people that word can be a bit triggery. So I want to try and make sure that when we're communicating, we're not using any triggers. So if you'd rather me say like
well, maybe
source,
don't say it, because then my brain will automatically go to like to a church or a priest or something.
Yeah, and that's why I ask. So maybe I'll just say I'll just use spirit or universal energy or the universe or anything. There's a whole heap of other words I can use. Perfect. All right, so to start off with, just look at a real or imagined spot overhead. Just take a deep breath in and then let that deep breath out. We'll do this a couple of times. Another deep breath in and then let that deep breath out. This final time, take a deep breath in, and this time as you breathe out, just leave your eyeballs up but close your eyelids down, all the way down. You'll feel that fluttering, and that's just perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I will count you into your scenes when we get to that point, but I just really want to raise your vibration more now. So just want you now just to focus on the top of your head and on your heart center. And as you're focusing on them, I just want you to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, just imagine that energy coming in from that space. Hold. And then as you breathe out, just have that energy just go through each and every cell of your body. I just want you to focus in that space while I play the gong. As I play the gong, I want you to actually take note of the silence between each gong. Perfect. Now I'm going to count you backwards from 5 to 1, and as I count you backwards, you're just going to go into a scene, place, event and time that's somewhere along your soul's journey. So when you do go into this place, I'll ask some questions, which will just be questions to try and get your bearings. But if nothing comes up, then that's completely fine as well. Just say nothing. Like I said before, we don't want to make anything happen. We just want to let it happen. So we want to just stay in that beautiful flow state and just let things come through. And that scene now, whatever lifetime has been chosen for you, is just going to come into your mind easily, effortlessly, automatically. I want you to tell me, is it daytime or nighttime in this scene? First thing that pops to your head.
Daytime.
Perfect.
Outside.
Yep. And do you have a particular age that you could connect with in this scene?
Young.
Yeah. Under 10 or over 10?
Under 10.
Perfect. So you're under 10 in this scene. Is there anything around you that can give you an indication of maybe a time period or anything like that that you're in at the moment?
It's like a field.
Yeah. And what's that 10-year-old self doing in the field at the moment?
Just feeling the sun and the grass.
Yeah. Is there a male, is it coming through as a male or a female energy?
More female.
Yeah. So is she alone or is she with people?
Alone.
Yeah. And how does she feel about being alone?
Nice.
Yeah. What else can you share about that scene?
It's warm.
Yeah.
I'm floating.
Beautiful. Is it somewhere she goes often?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's kind of her happy place.
Mm.
Give me 3 or 4 feelings that she's experiencing while she's there.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Content. I'm happy.
Yeah. She sounds like she's really at peace in that space. Is there anything else coming up from that scene for you?
Like self.
Yeah, anything that you can feel that's, is there particular clothing that she's wearing that might give you an idea of when it might be? If I did say to you, for instance, if I said, choose a year, first year that comes to mind, what's the year that comes to mind when I click my fingers?
Maybe like 5.
Yeah, so she's 5 years old. And what time period year comes to mind when I click my fingers?
80s.
Yeah. So the 1800s?
No.
Or is this in this lifetime? Is this you in this lifetime, do you think?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you've gone back into a space in this lifetime But about 5 years old, just really enjoying that beautiful field that you're in.
Yeah. I didn't realise how much pain that I was carrying. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting the healing that I received, so that was quite nice and quite handy. I'll hang on to that. I think with just in life in general, with everything going so fast, and especially as a mum and, you know, life, you, I don't think we pause enough to feel and embrace exactly what's going on. And we tend to, I know that we joke about putting things in a box and, you know, like childbirth and trauma and things like that, but you really shouldn't. Is the session what I expected? I'd say yes and no, because I didn't really have expectations. I was just open to seeing.
Yeah.
I think I was surprised what come up. Well, the biggest neon sign, I think, is that it's okay to be myself. And in saying that, it would be not to question things or worry about things, and to just do and just be. So the things that make you content and happy and bring you joy, don't think about how that's going to affect others or anything outside of that. Just do it. Well, the healing was the biggest thing that I wasn't expecting. And like I mentioned earlier, like just now, I felt myself crying. But then when I was in the session, I knew that I was crying, but it didn't actually feel like myself. It felt like an out of body experience. It almost felt like somebody else was like shedding their tears on me, if that makes sense. The need to be free, I think, because like I had mentioned before the session, that I had only stopped masking and realised that I was masking because I'd truly suffocated myself. And for some people, they may not relate. They may think, what is she talking about? Why even put a mask on in the first place? And other people may totally understand what I'm talking about. So to be free is really to drop all the shackles and the Donnas that other people want me to be, and to be yourself. So to do the things that make you happy, you know, trying new things, saying no to people, not putting others before yourself, even if it is your children or your husband or your family or what have you. If it's not going to serve you, then just leave it. Or if you're not comfortable in that space or that environment or talking to that person or replying to that message, then just don't. You know, the world's not going to end. You need to protect your own entity and your own world first.
Okay, let's unpack. What did you take away from Donna's session? Is that like any that you've had before?
They're all uniquely different. And what I did love about Donna's session was the amount of healing that she got in that space. And so when we first went in, I noticed that when we were doing the past life, it was kind of going into this life and wasn't really going into a past life. So in my early days, I would have got frustrated by that because I'm like, no, we need to get there. But just for me as well, having acceptance of where it goes is where it's meant to go. And then once you did the healing, that's kind of when I got the messaging to go, now it's time to possibly go and explore those lives, which is then when we went into that space. So I suppose what it showed is that no two sessions are the same. And even though I kind of can guide people, the client actually drives the session. It's what they need. It's where they need to be. It's what they need to experience. And I kind of just sit on the sidelines and, you know, wave hello from time to time. But it was a really great session. And it's hard for me sometimes because I don't feel what they feel. But I believe from what she was saying that she got some really real healing out of it. So that's what kind of warms my heart. That's the whole purpose of these sessions, is to not be human. It's to really connect with that inner soul and at that soul energy level. And one of the things I've had to do through the sessions is expand my own mind, because I've had a lot of other things that people have come up with and clients in the session, and my logical's mind gone, no way. But I've had to go, hang on, it's not your experience. And I know so deep, like they have this such deep connection that it's not false. Like I can see it in them that it really happened and it was really there. And so I've just got to expand my consciousness so that I can keep up with them, pretty much. That's my job. I think the main thing I picked up in there for her was just being truly accepting herself and being true to that part. And it's not dissimilar to many other people. It just shows up in different people in different ways. And I think that's a very common message that people get out of these sessions is like, shit, it's okay to be me. Actually, I'm meant to be me. And it helps them move into that space of authenticity a lot easier.